Welcome, I'm Todd Robbins. July 23rd, a number of horrible things happened on this day. In 1943, Eric James Brown had a problem. He was 19 years old, living in England, and his father was the problem. His father was an invalid, confined to a wheelchair, and he was a very abusive man. He just continually was after Eric. Eric could do nothing right, and so on this day in 1943, Eric decided to do something about that. It consisted of attaching a landmine to his father's wheelchair. Well, that took care of one problem and presented many more for Eric. In 1952, well, something that could be considered a no good deed goes unpunished happened, and it involved Elmer Trigger Burke. He was a hitman, and he was in a bar one night and drinking, and he got into an argument with one of the bar patrons, and they got into a fight. And the bartender, who was known as Edward Poochie Walsh, stepped in and stopped the fight. He stopped the fight because, Burke had beat the daylights out of the guy. The guy was lying on the ground, and Burke was ready to kick him in the head. Walsh stepped in, stopped the fight. Burke shrugged his shoulders, he walked outside, he calmed down a little bit, thought about what he had done, came back inside, and shot Walsh in the face. On this day in 1900 at 11 p.m., there was a call that came into the police. It came from a predominantly white neighborhood. They were reporting two African-American men who were suspicious. 3 cops showed up, found the 2 men sitting on a stoop, a porch, and they said, "What are you doing here?" They said they're waiting for a friend. There came an argument, things became a little heated, and then one of the guys, a man by the name of Robert Charles, got into a fight with one of the cops. Guns came out, shots were fired, the cop was killed, Charles was wounded, but he made his escape. The next day the police located Charles, and while they were trying to capture him, 2 more cops were shot. Charles escaped again. For the next 4 days, New Orleans was ripped apart by race riots. And during that time, Robert Charles, shot 27 people, killed 6 of them, 4 of them policemen. Finally, the cops caught up to him, found out where he was, surrounded the building, set it on fire, and when he tried to escape, they shot Charles dead. A mob of white people tried to attack the body, grab it, and rip it to pieces. Even after the death of Robert Charles and all of this was over and the riots stopped, the racial tensions remained in New Orleans. They still do. On this day in 1999, a taxi driver in Tel Aviv named Amnon Cohen became enraged because he had suspicions that his wife was flirting with a man on the internet. So he decided to teach her a lesson. He decided to teach her a lesson by strangling her and his 2 daughters in their sleep, killing them, and then setting their apartment on fire. That sure showed her. On this day in 1928, it was the Rindfleisch persecutions. Very simply, the Jewish community in Würzburg, Germany, was massacred. In 1886, something happened, or perhaps it didn't. Allow me to explain. There was a man named Steve Brody. He was one of the characters down on the Bowery here in New York City. He was well known, and after this night in 1886, he became even more so, because he claimed that on this night, he jumped off the Brooklyn Bridge. Did he? Did he not? Who knows? What we do know is that thereafter, there became a little bit of slang that was quite common for many, many years. If someone were to fall down, it was known as taking a Brody. In 1929, the fascist government in Italy bans the use of foreign words, all of them. Capiche? In 1964, the Egyptian munitions ship Star of Alexandria is docked in Algeria, while the crew is unloading the munitions, weapons from Russia and from Saudi Arabia. It all goes boom. Sabotage, don't you know? 100 people died, about 160 were injured, and there was $20 million worth of damage. In this day, in the year 2000, the 86 Tour de France was won by Lance Armstrong. Lance Armstrong. What a dope. And on this day is a birthday. It's the birthday. In 1973, Monica Lewinsky was born in San Francisco. She was best known for being a White House intern that served under President Bill Clinton. In 1985, Ulysses S. Grant, the 18th President of the United States and former General of the Union Army, dies of esophageal cancer in Mount Gregory, New York. He was 63 years old. On this day, this patron saint of cigar and bourbons passed away. And on this day, finally, in 2011, Amy Winehouse, the British singer and songwriter, dies from alcohol poisoning. She was 27 years old. Yeah, on this day, she joined the 27 Club. If she'd only gone to rehab. Well, there you go, and there you have it, my friends. If you enjoyed this little video, by all means like it and subscribe to the channel. And when you do subscribe, tap that little bell. That means you'll be getting notifications when the next video is unleashed. That is assuming you survive all the horrible things that'll be happening to you on this day. And if you do survive, well, I hope you will join me here tomorrow. And if you don't survive, well, maybe next year on this day, I will tell your story. Wouldn't that be nice? Once again, I'm Todd Robbins. Good luck.